Hey everyone, and welcome to 1.21 Jigowatts. I am Peter, that is Connor, and this is our weekly trailer talk show where we pick a bunch of movie trailers from the last week or so and we talk about them. At the end of it, we'll pick our favourite of the week. So that's what we're going to do. I say of the week, we didn't have one last week because Connor was on vacation.
Yes, so as I like to say, it's weekly-ish.
Weekly-ish, yeah, it's very good. So yeah, picked 12 or so of the more interesting ones from the last couple of weeks. It is worth mentioning there is technically a trailer for Happy Death Day to You, but it's exclusive to theaters for now, so we can't just watch it online. So that'll come at a future.
Woohoo! We'll do it when it comes up.
Future episode. But I just want to acknowledge that it exists in case people are wondering where it is. So yeah, without further ado, we'll get cracking into the trailers. So first up this week, we had a teaser trailer for Aladdin, the live-action version that Disney's doing, because they're doing live-action versions of everything now.
Yeah.
So it's very much a teaser.
Aladdin's a pretty classic tale, though. To be fair.
Sure.
Yeah, and it goes back a long time as a story.
Yeah. Do you have attachment to the animated movie?
No, I don't actually.
No.
I've read and seen a few versions of Aladdin. But the Disney one was never okay, that's the one that I've been stuck to.
Well, do you have an attachment to Aladdin in general then, I suppose?
I like the story in general. I like the idea, a lot of what it does. Depends on the version.
I mean, I saw the Disney one when I was a kid, but I have no particular attachment to it. The teaser trailer is just kind of, see, here's a couple of locations, and here's one shot of him picking up the lamp, and that's about it.
It looks like it's competently shot, if nothing else.
Yeah, there's not a lot to go on. Some people are obviously going nuts because there's the big the cave entrance and there's a lot.
I mean, what's there looks good, but there's not really much there.
Yeah.
There's like not really any dialogue. There's just some stuff in the background, I think.
This is the sort of movie where I'm just like, I have nothing against it, but I highly doubt anything will move the needle.
I want to see a proper trailer. Show me, Will Smith as the genie. That's when I'll make my judgment on how I feel about the movie. Right now, it's like, yeah, okay, it looks like a movie.
Which reminds me, remember the needle on TV news yesterday?
Oh, we didn't, did we?
Yeah.
I told you we'd forget.
Well, I've remembered. It's still going to be a thing. It's coming back. It's coming back next episode. We'll be doing the needle, moving the needle.
Okay, all right.
Next up. Because I assume we're done with Aladdin. I have nothing else to
add. It's so straightforward. It's like what 80 seconds of half of it's some shots of the desert.
Half of it's just titles. It's half of it's like coming next year from Disney.
Like I said, we'll talk about it properly when we get a proper trailer.
Yeah. Next up, we get a trailer for The Kid Who Would Be King, and I'm like, is this a King Arthur thing? And then sure enough, it's a King Arthur thing. It's a British school kid who takes the sword out of the stone and then realizes, shit, this is the sword in the stone, and then it becomes like a kid's comedy where he's training his schoolmates to become the army.
I love it. Did you see who wrote and directed this?
I actually didn't notice.
No, Joe Cornish.
Oh, okay.
Who did Attack the Block, for anyone who doesn't know, which I really like that movie.
It's not bad.
And I'm feeling the comedy in this. I'm getting that vibe.
That had Doctor Who in it, and it had Boyega from Star Wars. I mean, this looks fine. I can't say I'm super hyped for it though.
Oh, this shot to a must watch for me. I'm like, yes, this is doing all the things I want. You got urban fantasy crossed with classic fantasy, and then you've got some great British humor. I'm down.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not super feeling it. It could be alright. This is not something I'm going to the theater to see though.
I am.
This is you've got like him like clunking around in like knight armor on school grounds. I'll admit though, the one time I did laugh in the trailer
was at the table.
Oh, that was okay when you fold out the flaps, so it's a round table. No, that was okay. No, the one laugh I had is when he's trying to inspire the entire year at school to like join his army and be trained, and they all just stay silent, and then the teacher goes, "You can do this instead of class today," and they all cheer.
Like that, and then it just cuts to them all, in gear with swords.
This could equally be very stupid. I admit, Joe Cornish being a part of it does imply that it won't be, but it could equally just be very stupid.
It could, but I feel like there's some talent behind there that makes me confident in I'm getting what I see. And for me, that's a good thing.
Why wouldn't it be a good thing? You say that as if for other people it wouldn't be a good thing.
Well, I know, but for you, what you see here is maybe not necessarily a great thing. It's like, okay,
Okay.
it's just it's that. But to me, that's okay. No, I want that movie.
I mean, I'm not opposed to it, but I'm not a King Arthur guy. I don't really care
No,
about
you're not.
the.
You're not a fantasy guy in general. We've
No, I'm
spoken about this all
not.
the time. I really am. I love King Arthur stuff as well.
Yeah,
So
some douchebag's supposed to be Merlin in disguise.
yeah, yeah.
I don't know.
It's in my wheelhouse. What do you want me to say?
I don't know. That's sort of the sort of thing that when I was 10, this would have been probably quite interesting. but
Okay.
but now I'm like, there's not enough violence. But he's not ripping out throats with his bare hands. I'm not interested.
God,
Uh,
such an edgelord.
no, I like a bit of tongue in cheek with my over the top violence. Thank you very much.
That's true. You do.
I want to rip out the throat with his bare hands and then slip in the blood.
Yeah, I'm down for that.
Anyway, moving on, we got a trailer for the remake of Pet Sematary, which is the Stephen King novel, of course. I have seen the original film from, I believe, 1989, I want to say is the year, and it's okay. Like, it has its fans. I remember when we did a review on streams a long time ago, we got a lot of nasty comments because I shat on it, but I don't think it's that good. It's only okay.
Did Tim love it?
No, I felt like it. I don't think it was that creepy. I thought the only interesting stuff was there was like allusions to this sister that was kind of crazy, like in a bed, and I remember that stuff being a little bit more kind of visceral. But the stuff with the kid, I remember just being kind of like, this feels kind of silly.
Kind of how I feel about this trailer.
Outside of the actual getting hit by a truck thing, that's pretty brutal.
Yeah.
I always
This-
applaud when kids get killed off in movies. It's the
This
best.
trailer didn't do much for me though. I mean, there was bits where there's the kids in all the masks, and
That was okay, I thought.
that goes into the stuff I like, but then kind of not much else was working for me.
Yeah, well, it was a lot of random cuts. This was very much a teaser trailer because it wasn't so much of the plot as it was just a lot of random cuts of the creepy stuff after the moving the house scenes at the start. And the creepy kids were pretty cool. It seems like there's more going on in this than there was in the original, but that could just be a misdirection because the trailer's cutting around so quickly all over the place. But those kids with the masks, I'm pretty sure they were not in the original at all. I don't remember anything like that in the original film.
Fair enough. That was the one thing that I did like in the trailer. The rest of it, I don't know if it. Maybe it's just a badly cut trailer.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it looks like it's going to be a pretty generic Hollywood remake of an old horror movie, but of one that I didn't even like that much in the first place.
Let's be honest, they're a dime a dozen anyway, though.
I mean, John Lithgow's nice.
Yeah.
And Jason Clarke's actually quite a good actor as well, but...
Yeah, I can't fault the cast. If it fails, it won't be their fault.
The last thing I saw him in, though, was that Winchester movie, which was also bad.
Oh, okay.
Him and Helen Mirren couldn't save that one.
No, I remember that earlier this year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was rough. Alright, moving on. Another horror film, we had The Curse of La Llorona. Is that right?
It is, yeah.
Thank you. So here's the thing. This is so it's a horror movie trailer, right? It's a New Line, produced by James Wan, which is amusing because that's also the same studio as the Conjuring movies, and James Wan, of course, produces all of them. But this is not a Conjuring universe movie. But I did get a little bit confused at first because the actor in this playing a priest was also a priest in the first Annabelle movie, and
really?
it threw me for a loop. Because I saw him and went, this is weird. He was a priest in Annabelle as well.
He's just got that priest look to him.
And then it came up saying produced by James Wan. I'm like, I'm pretty sure this is not a Conjuring movie. Like, because we've talked about this in the news.
They're definitely just mates.
Yeah. So this is a pretty generic horror trailer about talking about the curse of the weeping woman, right? La Llorona. I did appreciate though that the second half of the trailer was just essentially a scene in a car where the ghost is coming from the outside and the kids are trying to keep the door shut. Um, I appreciate how it slowed down and it just became that. I think that's way more effective than quickly cutting between a bunch of stuff.
I agree, especially depending on the type of movie, but for a
Oh
horror
yeah,
movie,
oh yeah, for a horror movie, yeah.
yeah, which is it's actually unusual, because even horror movies typically get faster in the second half of their trailers. Yeah, you start off with a little bit and then speed up and ramp up as you go, typically.
Because I was uninterested, and then it slowed down and just gave me this scene. I was like, okay, that seems okay. Like, I'm not completely sold that it's going to be great yet, but I appreciate this restraint almost to slow down and just here's a sample of what a suspenseful sequence will be in
Yeah,
this. And when it comes to most horror movies, that's really what I'm looking for more than anything.
yeah.
How do you handle the suspense? Because if you can't handle that,
And
it's going to be garbage.
that was definitely the best part of the trailer, watching the handles just spin,
Yeah.
for the windows, and them just trying to grab them, and the door locking, unlocking, whatever it
And, and
was.
and the image of the weeping woman, like sort of in the distance, looked quite good as well. So,
Yeah.
cautiously
The
optimistic.
only bit of that scene that made me go, was actually the final moment of her just being outside the window.
Yeah, I thought it
That
was.
felt a little generic.
It's a little generic, which is a problem I've had with a lot of supernatural movies recently. But at least it felt well paced, so that it still hit the right beat, and it still.
It definitely hit the beat. It just the image of it. I was just like, oh, okay, it's just that.
Hey, I'll tell you what I'm really sick of, and something that's never been scary. It's never been that exciting. It's always been kind of generic and dull. It's never been good. Is this thing that a lot of horror directors, for some reason in Hollywood, think is effective, and it's the character going like this, and just having their mouth wide open. Maybe a noise will come out, maybe it won't, but there's nothing scary about it. It's stupid, right? It's always been stupid. It doesn't add anything to the scene. It sucks all of the scary energy out of the scene. Don't do it. Not that this trailer did it. You're bringing up generic
Yeah.
things.
While we're on generic
Yeah.
tropes. Yeah.
And that one bugs me. That one bugs me
Fair enough.
because Hill House did it once, and I like that show a lot, but they did it once,
Did you give it shit?
and I gave it shit because I didn't like that moment, but otherwise it's pretty
Okay.
good. Yes. Anyway, so yeah, nah, Curse of La Llorona, yeah, could be okay.
Potential.
Yeah. Next up, we had a trailer for Escape Room, which
Yes.
is obviously based on a real thing. You have escape rooms. I've not had the pleasure of doing one myself.
I
And
have.
annoyingly, I know there was a Resident Evil one
Oh,
last
really?
year. Yeah, not near me. Otherwise, I would made a point of dragging people along to it because
Yeah. No, there's a couple of places near me that do them. They got a few different. You got like the more family friendly ones. Like,
hmm,
okay, here's a King Arthur themed one, and then you've got ones where you've just been kidnapped. They throw a balaclava and they throw a headscarf over you and just be like, right, they'll slap you around handcuffs,
do you know what I
sort
like about
yourself
the
out.
Resident Evil idea as a theme? Is that game is about like figuring out the puzzles and getting your way out of places. So it
Mm,
actually, even just the way the games play lend itself to how an escape room would play.
does.
So that's kind of neat. And if there's a bunch of references to things that'll make me giggle and cool. But anyway, so this is an escape room, and of course it's a movie escape room, so it's ridiculously high tech and over the top and
Yeah.
all these things. A couple of recognizable actors in there actually. Older sister from Lost in Space
Yes.
in there, one of the
Yeah.
characters. Julie was her name in that show. And then I'm pretty sure there was someone else I recognized
I recognize one of the other girls. I couldn't tell you who she was.
from something.
I don't know. I know her face. She kind of looks like a younger Deb Ramwell.
Oh, she is Deborah Ann Will.
Is it?
It's Deborah Ann Will. Yeah, well,
I
she's in
I
there.
literally just looked, glanced, and I was like, no, it's not her.
It's her. Her name's in the credits. It's her.
Is it? Because it didn't look like her at first, and I was like, oh, I think it is her. Maybe it's all just the shadows. Yeah.
Congratulations, Deborah Ann Will. You have de-aged, apparently.
Yeah. Yeah. I recognize Tyler Levine too. He's the older guy with them.
What's he from, though? What would I recognize him from?
What would you know from? I know him mainly from Reaper. He was in the first of the new Apes movies. He was the doctor who got infected.
Oh, right, okay. All right, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Was he in
yeah.
Tucker and Dale versus Evil as well? Maybe. I think he might have been in that.
Maybe? I don't know. But I also
Yeah.
watched that. So yeah, basically someone mysterious like invites them all to this escape room with potentially to win a lot of money, and it turns out they're really in a dangerous room that has like traps that will kill them.
Oh shit.
And then it gets really wacky when they solve the first puzzle. And I thought this was the really struggle of this trailer, is that clearly they're supposed to go through various phases of this room, but they don't want to spoil too much of it in the trailer. So they show them getting to the second phase where it looks like they're outside, but there's like a digital barrier, and so it
Yeah,
looks like they're out in the snow, but they're not really out in the snow.
it's a hard thing to do a trailer for because the thing is inherently puzzles, right? And how do you what's the puzzle and what's next? And the mystery that you want that the characters are going to be
And
going,
the other
okay, what do we
problem
do
is,
next?
there was one glimpse of another area as well, and it did this shot where it pulled back, and I was intentionally trying to avoid looking at who was in the group because I assumed one or two are going to die in each area, and I didn't want
Yeah,
to remember who was alive by the time we get to that third or fourth area.
yeah.
So I was intentionally not paying attention to who was on the room on the room at
There
that
was some
point.
interesting camera work going on.
Yeah, do you know what? This is a sort of movie which I think it's got a fun idea. The concept itself is fun. It's a little bit Saw, but without the shitty visuals and without you know,
Yeah,
hopefully more intelligent puzzles. The placement's so high tech that they have like digital outside is a little bit eye rolling. It's like, okay, whatever.
it's slightly in the future.
Yeah. Um, but the concept alone, I could see being a fun B movie, or because it's made by Sony, more likely to just be garbage. And I don't know what side it's going to fall on yet.
I want this to be fun,
Yes,
but I don't know if it will be. But it looks like it could be.
yes. But this could easily be tedious. It could easily just make us roll our eyes constantly.
Yeah, yeah. But I
So
mean, the concept of the escape room being real, it's okay. Yeah, that's an easy premise to go with, right?
yeah, I'm surprised it took this long, quite frankly.
Yeah, I am too actually. But hey, I'm down for it. Hopefully, as long as it gets reasonable reviews, I'll check it out.
Hmm.
You'll check it out anyway because screams.
Yeah, streams. Um, do you know what? I'm trying to think where I heard a really funny thing. This is weird, just because of the word escape room. Like I was thinking of room, and I don't know who said it. It may have been a podcast, it might have been an interview, but someone somewhere this week said, "If Captain Marvel's so great, why couldn't she get out of room?" And that made me piss myself laughing. It's not my joke. I can't take credit for it, but I can't remember. It just popped out of my head because I was thinking of the words escape room. Because escaping the room,
Yeah, yeah, no, I'm
yeah.
with you.
But anyway, uh,
Okay,
anyway,
I'll allow it.
do you know what it was? It was the phrasing because they didn't say the room. It just said room, like in the movie, the kid says room, and
Yeah.
that's what made it. That's what sold the joke. Anyway, so could be good, but it's a fun concept. So hopefully
It
it
is.
salvages
I'd like
something
it to
out
be
of it.
fun.
Next up, we had a movie called Destroyer, or see, do you know what? I really want to say this like the Godzilla monster, the kaiju, Destroyer, with the H at the end.
That's not what this is.
I know, but Nicole Kidman would make more money off this movie if she just called it Destroyer instead. And just have a couple of scenes where we superimpose the image of Destroyer over her face as if she's becoming a Destroyer as the movie's going on. So this is a movie where she's in law enforcement and she goes undercover with a group of bank robbers. But she seems to fall for one of the bank robbers and even has a kid with the bank robber. And then she's kind of torn between the life of being a cop again and just being loyal to the bank robber. The plot's whatever on its own.
The direction looks great though.
Direction looks great. Do you know who the director is?
No, I don't actually on this one.
Because I know who the director is, and I'm excited.
It didn't come up during the trailer, did it? I don't
It did.
recall.
One of the blurbs was so and so is a directional force to be reckoned with or something like that.
Do you know what? There's some of those I just don't.
Yeah, I know. I don't read them all either. But I recognise the name, and I had to double check who it was because I was like, I know that name, and I think I know what movie I like this person from. I just had to double check, and I was right. The Invitation.
I know how much you love that movie.
Yeah, this is Karen Kusama who directed The Invitation, which is a phenomenal little horror thriller starring our boy Logan Marshall Green from Quarry.
Yeah.
Very, very, very freaking good. So instantly, I mean, the trailer's pretty solid anyway, But this, her name being attached to it is like, okay, tripled.
Oh, I agree. That's. I mean, I haven't even finished that movie. I watched half of it. Stuff happened. I had to turn it off, and I never went back for whatever reason.
You got an invitation.
No, I don't even remember what happened at the time. It was because it was when it was relatively fresh out. But I was like, no, I want to wait until give it a chance to just breathe properly on its own.
Mm.
And now I just haven't found the time to watch it because
You'll have to watch it from the start now, though, because it's been a
oh,
while.
obviously, yeah.
Yeah.
That was my intention. It's like because I didn't get back to it within a couple of days. It's like no, I'm just gonna wait, leave it till it, and then watch it from the start, and it'll be completely fresh.
Yeah.
But I did really like the direction of what I saw.
Yeah, so it looks like Nicole Kidman's going to have a bit of a tour de force here, and
Yeah.
so it looks like it's going to get violent in places. It looks like she's going to be torn. I actually have no idea, because I mean, obviously, I don't know how every movie's going to end after I see a trailer, but this one especially, like, I'm not sure, like, does it go in a direction where she does care about the bank robber guy and wants to be loyal to him, or is it more of a choice about she has to be with him for the kid's sake, or like, what's the?
No, I get it. When you say, oh, you don't know how it's going to end, there's a lot of times you see a trailer and you go, right, I understand the point of the movie. I get what the arc's going to be, and now I just get to experience the journey. And maybe there'll be a twist along the way.
The only thing I can say about this for sure is that she cares about her kid and wants to ensure her kid's okay. But other than that, like, I don't know where she ends up dramatically.
No, I don't either.
But it looks like she ages a lot, because the like the shot at the end of her face is like older, as if she's like years have passed and she's going to do one last hurrah of some kind. So
I'm intrigued.
No, that's interesting. So that's Destroyer. Next up, we have a trailer for The Night Comes For Us, which this is notable in that it's actually already out, because this trailer was like last week, and it's a Netflix movie, and Netflix movies come out quite quick, so this came out a couple of days ago on Friday. But I kept it in because I thought it was worth at least bringing to people's attention, because it's a foreign movie, and those tend to not get promoted as much on Netflix, unless you're from the country that the movie came from.
It's Indonesian, I believe, this one.
Yes, because, well, the guy from The Raid's in it, so that's like fair guess. He plays the villain, though, and our main character is, one of his henchmen or whatever, and he seems to have second thoughts about his choice of, gangster career when he's supposed to kill this girl, and decides to turn over a new leaf, and it's kind of it's a redemption action movie, right?
It is, yeah.
And it's so for the first half of it, until you start to get glimpses of what the action looks like in the second half, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh baby, this looks good.
There's a shot in like a butcher's style thing, with all the things hanging down on the meat hooks.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I'm into this.
There's one where it's like two people knife fighting. They look at a knife, but it's like
is it the top down shot?
No, there's one where it's kind of lit up background, as if they've got like an LED light behind them.
Oh yeah.
And actually, I think it was like stained glass, but there was lights behind the stained glass. But the point is that it was bright and they were in silhouette fighting with knives.
The fact that you can say, "Oh, is it that one?" I'm going, "Oh, this one," and there's three or four possibilities that it could be, and all would have been good choices.
It looks like a good action movie. I'd probably make a point of watching it in the next couple of days, but it's October. I'm supposed to be watching horror movies, so I might have to push it for a week. But
I kind of want to watch it myself.
Yeah, I want to get to this because it looks pretty good. This is the sort of thing that goes right under the radar. It's only because I go and check what their trailers are every week that I find some of these things. So yeah, that's The Night Comes For Us. It looks like a pretty good action movie. Now, if it ends up sucking because it's got really bad pacing or whatever, I'm sorry, but the trailer looks good.
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
Next up, trailer for a film called Miss Bala, which has one of the most convoluted plots that I've gleaned from a trailer in recent memory.
And it seems to be a much more generic action movie
It
compared
does.
to the
You've
last
got
one.
Gina Rodriguez, who seems to fall into it with some awful people who make her, and she's not a criminal herself. She's just like on vacation or whatever, and she gets kidnapped and dragged into it. It actually looks like it's like a public mass shooting at first, but it seems to be that the terrorists who are just looking for some innocent people to do their next thing.
They need some hostages.
Yeah, in this case, they force her to drive a car to this location, which then it turns out to be a bomb. So they use her as like, so she's the suspect, and then the FBI or whoever get her, and they want her to go undercover because she had a bit of a connection with one of the terrorists. So then she has to go back and pretend to be in love with the terrorist, and she's now an undercover agent for the FBI. And all I could think whilst the trailer was getting to this point, it's like, how stupid is this terrorist that this woman you kidnapped and forced to do this came crawling back, a little bit later and said, you know what, I actually want to be on your side. That's not suspicious to you? Unless the trailer's not making something clear about this that makes this more reasonable.
Look, what you're forgetting is
Yes.
people are blinded by love.
You're saying the terrorist is blinded by the love of
Yeah.
Mr. Rodriguez here. Okay.
It's like he's just willingly ignoring the fact that it's suspicious because he just wants it so badly.
And then he seems to train her how to fight with guns and whatnot. Yeah. So the poster for this, no doubt, and the big final shot of the trailer is her walking in a dress, like cocking a big machine gun.
Yeah.
Now she's a badass. She started off as this innocent victim, and now she's a badass with a gun. And whatever. It looks really generic and convoluted.
Really does.
Not feeling it.
No, me either. This was such a come down after that last action trailer.
I know. It was like polar opposites.
Well, it's like, what are you doing to me?
Next up, we've got The Best of Enemies, which is a historical film about school segregation, and Tajira P. Henson is the character who is trying to get all this fixed and is fighting against the system, and Sam Rockwell's
Sam Rockwell's a racist dickbag again.
He's very typecast in this role.
What's he doing?
Going all the way back to the Green Mile. I mean, he was a racist murderer in that one, but still.
Yeah, but do you know what it is? Now it is. It's won him awards. It's objectively proven to work.
Yes.
Why stop?
I mean, in this, at least in this movie, from the trailer's quite upbeat for what it is. It seems to have a very upbeat fighting spirit kind of tone to it, where she's not going to take his shit. She's going to fight him, and she's going to do it, right? And that's cool. And he's a dickbag who kind of doesn't even want to be the one fighting her. He's just kind of appointed by the KKK to do it, right?
Yeah.
And it seems to be the arc of the film is that by the end he will actually step down and kind of, if not help, at least say, I'm getting out of your way. Yeah, go on.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not doing this anymore. Because there's one point in the trailer where he says to his wife, "Oh, they looked at me like I was a monster," and she says something along the lines of, "Can you blame them?"
Yeah.
And he has this moment of realization, like, you know what, this racism's actually pretty rough. Maybe I shouldn't be doing this.
Maybe I shouldn't be leading the clan.
Yeah, maybe I shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah.
So it looks like, it's one of those things where it's a balancing act. But if it somehow pulls off the comedy elements to this, the serious issues, the uplifting message, and the arc of his character, where he comes out of a bit of a better person by the end, it could be something special if it nails all these things and balances them all.
Alternatively, there is a level of it where I go, Oscar bait.
There is a level where it could just be Oscar bait, yeah. It feels like it's doing a lot of things that are very Oscar friendly.
But it does look good. So, swings and roundabouts.
If nothing else, Henson and Rockwell are going to be worth watching. If nothing else.
Yeah. This feels like nominations, right?
Her shouting in his face and him being a dickbag back looks like it's going to be entertaining, if nothing else.
If he wins again this year for this role.
Oh, that's every year he's going to be playing a racist dickbag in something.
Yeah, that'll be 2 in a row.
Every year.
Yeah.
It'll go further back in time though, because three billboards was present day, so it's going to go further back.
This is 70s.
Yeah,
so
50s next
well,
time.
50s is next, obviously.
Obviously, yeah. So that's The Best of Enemies, and that's even a good title. So yeah, go for it.
It is, yeah.
So next up, with a horror film trailer called The Possession of Hannah Grace.
Ugh. I can't hold it in.
So the premise of this is that this doctor, this mortician, or not mortician, sorry, a coroner is the correct term. She is doing the night shift, and the guy, she's new at this place, this hospital, and this guy brings in the body, and he's like, yeah, this one's weird. Like the family was doing like an exorcism on her, and she died in the middle of it. So it's kind of like
there's a bit here, and they went, oh, and you know what they say about unfinished exorcisms?
No one says that.
There's a saying about unfinished exorcisms?
I think he's just trying to be cute and flirt with her. I think that's all he's doing.
Yeah, but that was really awful dialogue.
But so obviously it's basically set in presumably this one night, maybe 2 nights or whatever, in the morgue where creepy shit starts happening, and the ghost of this girl or whatever was possessing her starts
Yeah.
tormenting the main character, and creepy stuff kind of happening. I mean, I'm just kind of apathetic towards it. I don't necessarily think it looks particularly terrible, but I don't think it looks good either. It just kind of looks in the middle.
I thought it looked really quite bad. Everything with the when the body starts, moving and waking up,
Sure.
and it felt like it was trying so hard to be. Oh, look how unnatural this is.
Oh no, I agree. This is everything I hate about supernatural movies. But you've not watched some of the shit I've seen
No, no, that's
on
true.
streams, so this feels more middle of the road to me. Which I mean, if the suspense is there, it could be something decent because it didn't look too cheap for what it was. The lead actress seemed like she could hold a movie. She didn't seem like she was
Yeah, but then you
struggling.
have points where the body's just trying to crawl around on all fours. I'm like, yeah, all right, I get it. It's creepy. I'm sick of these type of movies. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I'm
It's,
sick.
it's,
I'm
it's
sick
going to
of
take something special for this to not just seem generic and boring.
I'm sick of supernatural movies as well. I've been saying it for like
Yeah,
5 years
I
that I'm
know.
sick of supernatural movies. I want other types of horror movies to be big again, but
Yeah.
this is what they're churning out constantly. Uh, so hey, I will leave that there. This what it is.
Oh, I want to talk about how much I hated the final shot moment, or not not the bit that came after the titles, but the one that led into it. The thing rolls under the door to the toilet.
It's a ball of rubber bands.
Yeah, yeah, and then the hand comes in. I'm like, that it? That's your big scare for the end of the trailer.
Do you know, there was a comment on TV news for yesterday's episode that went up that said, I love the enthusiasm and passion and optimism that the ginger brings to the show, and I feel like we're having a moment of that here.
Look, there was no optimism there, but there was passion in my disdain for this. Do not tell me that was impassionate.
Sure. I don't get why you're so passionate though. This wasn't offensively bad looking. It just looked bad.
I just really hated this trailer for
All
whatever
right.
reason. It just really got under my nerves.
It was just really generic. Like, I can't be that mad at it. All
I
right,
think
moving on.
sometimes that's worse.
Moving on to a trailer for Jonathan, which is your boy, Ansel Elgort. Is that his name? Is that how you say
So,
it? From Baby Driver, and he plays a guy. Well, he plays two guys technically. Who it's this one person, and the idea is that during the day he's this one dude, and then at night time he's a completely different person, with different personalities, and they leave each other video messages to communicate with each other.
Mm.
And this is how they work. So it's kind of a sci-fi movie
yeah,
in that
definitely.
sense. And basically, they've got a rule where they don't date anyone. But then one of them finds out the night guy has got a girlfriend, and he goes to meet the girlfriend, and then confronts the other version of himself about the girlfriend, and he agrees to split up with her. But then the daytime guy, starts dating the girlfriend secretly.
I love it.
It's the weirdest love triangle that I have encountered in a while. I'll give it that.
Yeah, but it's kind of unique.
And yeah, so it looks like the daytime guy does tell her about the condition.
Yeah,
Because we hear parts of the trailer where she's like talking about it, so she does find out.
I do really love the tone of the movie and the trailer, and there's some great synth music going on.
Yeah, it feels like a sort of frantic build where eventually he's going to try and fight with himself. Essentially.
They're gonna wrestle for control, aren't they?
Yeah. So what's happening if he's masturbating right in the middle of the switch? Like, it's like, he starts off and then the switch happens midway through. Does he feel like someone else was doing it?
I feel like he's just like, well, I'm almost there. So
Okay. Very blasé of him, though. It just be like, well, I'm halfway
I
there.
imagine it became every day after a few years.
All right. So, and I'm sure there might be some reveals as to why he has this condition. If it means something, is it just purely in his head? Is there
Yeah, I
more
think the
to it?
trailer was saying it was just he was born with it, and science helped him manage it. Near future, I think.
Yeah.
But I'm down.
No, it looks interesting. It looks like an interesting little low-budget sci-fi movie with a couple of, obviously, Patricia Clarkson's in there as well.
Yeah.
His mother, I think. I assume, anyway. Maybe he's just his therapist, but I assume mother.
Yeah, that's fair.
No, that's called Jonathan. And then finally on the trailers this week we have High Voltage, which is a movie starring David Arquette, where he's in a rock band, and he's got
He
this really
can't even keep a straight face.
he's got a really cheesy narration as well, where he's like, "I brought my axe," and then Megan was on the vocals. It wasn't even Megan, but I just it was whoever her name was, and it felt so cheesy. And then I was like, "What is this movie about? Where's it going?" And then it turns out to be a movie where the female singer is struck by lightning and gets lightning powers and starts killing people with her lightning powers.
I love how awful this looks.
Also, Luke Wilson's in it.
What's not to love about this?
It looks really bad, and it looks like it could be fun bad, but at the same time, I don't know. Sometimes if the trailer looks fun and bad, the movie may actually be a lot slower and therefore just be tedious to sit through.
That's true, but it doesn't look like it's intentionally bad, and that's usually a sign that
Okay,
okay,
yeah.
don't bother. This looks like no. They thought it was all right.
She starts burning up people with her powers, and her eyes light up. Yeah, it looks like a really trashy B movie that has some has-been actors in it. And I mean that's cruel, but I mean, when was the last time you saw David Arquette in something? It's been a while.
I can't even remember.
And then Luke Wilson's the lesser of the Wilsons.
Yes, but someone has to be the lesser.
I don't even like Owen that much, but I mean,
Yeah.
he's definitely the more popular one.
Most successful, if nothing else.
Yeah. Is there a third one? I wonder. Is it like the Hemsworths? Is there a third one that I'm not aware of yet?
You'll discover one day. Like,
Yeah.
oh my God, there's a third.
Yes. Although with the Hemsworth, I was like, this third one's better than the second one. So he's outranked Luke.
I agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah, he's outranked. It's Chris, and then I can't remember what the third one's name is, admittedly off the top of my head, but he's better than Luke.
Sure.
But there you
I
go.
can't. Honestly, I couldn't even told you Luke was the other one.
I'm sure it's Luke Hemsworth. That sounds right. Or am I just saying that because of Luke Wilson? I very well could be. Look up the Hemsworth brothers.
I am the Hemsworth brothers. There's
Chris.
so you've got Chris, Liam, and then Luke.
Liam. So Luke's the third one.
Yeah, Luke's the third one.
Oh, okay. So Luke's better than Liam. All right.
Yeah.
Oh, so what is it with like having two L's and then going with C for the third one? What the hell? Assuming Chris is the youngest. I don't know if he is.
I thought I don't know.
Because Luke's the oldest, I think.
Luke's 37, Liam's 28, and Chris is 35. So it's LCL.
Oh, okay. Because if it went LLC, well, that's kind of funny actually. I know myself. But if it went LLC, but we played that, just continue this L trend.
Yeah. But they just went back to it.
Yeah.
I imagine if there'd been a fourth, they'd have gone back to C.
Yes, LCLC. Yes. Maybe there is a fourth. I don't know.
Who knows?
Just not an actor. But yeah. So yes. Yes, cat.
When did the cat appear? Was it while I was googling the Hemsworths?
Yes. The cat
That's
came
all
up.
right. I looked away and I come back. There's a cat.
Yes.
Bloody bastards.
Why do cats suddenly appear?
You know what? That's how I felt when I was on holiday. Cats absolutely bloody everywhere. Just stray cats everywhere. Bloody menaces.
There's a puss. You're a good cat, right? I need Firefly. Yes.
He looks annoyed.
Oh no, he's purring away. He's happy.
No. He's plotting.
Oh no, this is not plotting. Wesker's got a plotting face. Firefly's got a
No, he's got a poker face. He's plotting on the inside.
No, he's got a dazed and confused face. Firefly's the idiot cat. And I say that with love, but he is.
Yeah, the only one who lets you pick him up for this long.
No, the elves don't mind me picking them up, but they don't tend to come up on my lap when I'm on the computer chair. They have different spots they like to come up for the attention. The couch specifically.
They got taste. They've gone for the comfier bit.
Go for the comfier seat. Which means they get me still for longer because I'll be watching a movie or something. So there's like, you've got like 100 minutes, Wesker, right? Get comfy.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's the trailers. So this is the point where we'll pick our favourite of the week.
Yeah. Honestly, for me, it's easy. It's the kid who would be king.
Yeah, I'll give points to La Llorona for just giving us a scene for the second half of the trailer, but I'm going with The Night Comes For Us. Those action scenes look good.
It does look good as well.
So that's what I'm going for. Best of Enemies had a good trailer as well, though. So points to that too.
Yeah, not bad overall this week.
Yeah, Jonathan looked interesting. So yeah, there's a few things in there.
I think it was the horror wasn't overall that great.
Hmm.
Like La Llorona, we liked what he did in the back.
Oh, and Destroyer was an alright trailer too.
Yeah. But La Llorona looked a bit generic. Pet Sematary, kind of
I think Destroyer might be the movie that I'm looking forward to the most out of all these, but Night Comes For Us, I think, had the more exciting actual images in the trailer, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Alright. Cool. There you go, trailer talk. Back in whack or something. I don't know, what do the kids say these days?
Definitely not that.
Definitely not that. Firefly's lying on top of my remote control now. Just no, it's mine now. You don't get your TV remote. It's mine.
Yeah, you don't need it.
I will if the automatic timer comes up saying it's going to turn off in a minute if I don't press something.
Well, let's hurry up and wrap this up before that happens.
All right, fine. Anyway, yeah, that is us. That is the trailer talk. So as what you think of the trailers. As always, the trailers are always in the description or the links, so you can go watch them for yourselves. If you like, I don't know if anyone actually like pauses after each part and goes and watches it and comes and listens to the conversation.
Sounds like effort, doesn't it?
Some people might, I don't know. Or do some people just pause it right at the start and then watch all of them and then come back and watch? I don't know. But hey,
that would turn this into quite a marathon session because we're going about 40 minutes here.
Yeah. Power to you. However you like to enjoy it, by all means, go for it. Maybe they listen to her to talk about it first, and if it sounds good, they go watch it.
See, that would be the smart thing. Don't watch all of them. We watch the shit so that you don't have to.
Sometimes if it's really shit though, and we're really passionate, I feel like your curiosity gets you then.
That's true.
It's one,
we're just like,
it's one thing for the possession of Hannah Grace, where like, oh, it's generic, but it's another thing when it's, oh, this looks laughably terrible. Like that's like, oh, you want to know what that is.
Yeah, like you want to check out High Voltage. You want to see for yourself how bad that looks in the best possible way.
Yeah. So worth mentioning, the Halloween review with me and Tim on Streams After Midnight just went up. It is an hour 45 minutes. So buckle in for that if you're curious as to our thoughts in depth. You can check that out. Worth promoting as well, if you like video games, me and Connor are going to be doing a monthly video game podcast called 1080-bit. It's going to start at the end of October. This first episode coming up at the end of the month will have some Spider-Man talk, some Shadow of the Tomb Raider talk, and some gaming news and what you'd expect in a show like that. So you can look forward to that. Get us on Patreon at patreon.com/mailedfuzztv if you want some bonuses and some extras, but mostly just to support us for as little as $1 per month. If you can find it in your heart,
You're going down that route now.
or if you're a ginger, if you can find it in something else, because I know you don't have a heart.
I have a heart. I just don't have a soul. I need, the heart still has a function.
I don't know. I feel like the ginger spice keeps the blood flowing.
That's what keeps it warm.
So yeah, do that. Get us on Twitter at mailed_fuzz for channel updates, and like, subscribe, all the usual stuff. But that's us. So thank you once again for watching or listening. We'll see you guys next time. We'll see you for movie news. Should be tomorrow, and that is us. So bye bye. Keep watching movies and whatnot. We'll see you next time. I don't have a catchphrase for the end of this stuff yet. Hold on. What's the way of saying like the end of the reel? The reel's.
Are you still going?